I totally understand the frustrations regarding Terence Crawford against Errol Spence. It's a super fight. We can probably use that overused phrase. That isn't probably going to happen. The difference is it hasn't been constantly teased. The heavyweight division now has real problems. We have been told Joshua Fury for so long, particularly over the last 8 months or so, as if it was a guarantee. It's one of the biggest disappointments in modern boxing, I think, so far, to just try and keep everyone updated daily, that it's getting closer and closer, and it's 80%, it's 90%, it's 99%, and then go, it's all fell apart. That's a real disrespect to the fans of boxing. What other sport do people so intensely follow that, and with this guarantee that something very meaningful is going to happen, and then it just falls apart and everyone shrugs their shoulders? Oh, I don't know whose fault it is. It's a complete joke. And it says to us that that does not deserve the kind of attention that it thinks it does. It's not Ali Frazier 1. It's not Fight of the Century. It's not that big. When these guys finally fight now, which might be 2022, they will officially be past their physical peak. It's not as meaningful as it once was. It's just not that big a fight. When it does happen, and it will eventually because they don't want to lose the money, everyone involved, it won't be as meaningful though. They'll get paid loads, but at that point it will be more of an event than it will a fight. And there'll be endless interviews, and they'll be giving it large, and I'll just be going, no. I'll watch it. It will still obviously be a meaningful fight. But the way they kind of abuse your attention because, you're invested in it, and everyone just sits back and waits for it to not mean as much in the long run. When you look back in the history books and you go, well, it didn't happen when it should have. It's just lame. Stop talking about it. Right now, Joshua Usyk, which is an interesting fight, it's a nice consolation prize for the fact that AJ Fury isn't happening this year. It's on there on BoxRec, but it still doesn't have a location. And people are saying, we've still got to iron a few things out. Well, it's not official then, is it? You don't announce something. You don't say we've got a gig on the go and this band's playing, but we don't know where it's happening or what the capacity is, but we're selling tickets anyway. It doesn't work like that. Boxing, this year in particular, with the whole AJ Fury fiasco, they've totally got the cart before the horse. And it's becoming more and more common because of the way the internet is, the way you want news every day. But we've got to be a bit smarter as boxing fans. And boycotting pay-per-views that aren't worth it. I just wish, if I had a wish, one of them might be I could get everyone just to think like me, and a fight that a particular promoter like Eddie Hearn or Bob Arum thinks is going to sell loads, I would get everybody to not pay, and it wouldn't do one pay-per-view sale, just to punish them, to make them go, okay, we need to step up to the line and make the fights happen, and not if you're whinging about a little bit of money or I want these gloves. It's like the fight has to happen. Imagine recently with England, unfortunately, losing to Italy. You have the final of the Euros, and imagine if one team goes, I don't quite want to do the final there. I want to get paid a bit more first, or let's wait. It doesn't happen in any other sport. AJ Fury is not that important as a fight anymore. It's still very important. It's got to happen. It's not this magical fight because it's already starting to go stale. And we don't know how stale it's going to get. Will it happen in 2022? This is the new question. Do you think it will? I knew the whole 2 fights in 2021 wasn't happening. Maybe one. Now that's not happening. That just shows you whatever kind of trust you had in the sport. Probably lower it a bit. Is it going to happen 2022? I don't know. I'm starting to care less because it doesn't mean as much, right? To the dummies and the casuals, they will always know AJ and Fury. They'll know the names. So whenever it happens, they'll always go, I've got to check this fight out. To people who know their boxing, they know this fight is already becoming less relevant. I don't care how much they both get paid or how glitzy the lights are. I care if it's a good fight. And you get the best fights when it happens when they're closer to their best. When there's more fire in the belly. You're allowed to abuse your celebrity now online. Just extend it that much more. Guys who aren't even the best in the division, they just have an alphabet belt, they get the clothesline, they're on the media all the time, they're on Twitter, they get a following, they're cozy, they already feel like a champ, it's all good. So they don't have to fight their top guys. The whole idea of marinating a fight, which Mayweather has accelerated, loads of people are taking it up, but it's not helping the sport at all. AJ Fury is already starting to turn into a bit of a mini disaster. Usyk AJ is a good fight, but it's still not really official. And I wouldn't be surprised if the plug was pulled on that one as well. Heavyweight division, man. It's got the most incredible history, probably, out of all the divisions. You know, they're the giants of the division. You think of John L. Sullivan, Jack Johnson, all their stories, and we know their personalities almost. It's a magical division. It's the clash of the titans. But in this modern age of constant daily news and just over-marinating the fight and selling it to you before it's happened, it's starting to kill it. I've seen it happen before. I'm getting bored of it. Fury, Joshua, these guys aren't as good as Tyson and Holyfield and Lewis. They don't have as many layers to them. Go watch Evander Holyfield against Riddick Bowe #2. Look at how fluid those combinations are, and you think, I'm almost looking at a different sport here. I appreciate all their individual talents. Tyson Fury's victory over Deontay Wilder in the rematch was very good, but the way they will try and inflate this to you and sell it to you when it happens, when it doesn't matter as much, it's going to be silly. And if you know your boxing, you know it's bollocks.